Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be drawing hands, and that's it. I was just sketching in my sketchbook for the first time this whole week because I've been so busy just drawing comics the whole week. I haven't had time really to do any extra stuff like sketching. But I finally had a little bit of time, and I felt like at the end of my sketching session I wanted to do some proper practicing from reference images, just get some more different hand poses into my mind, as one needs when one is a comic artist. I mean, any kind of artist obviously needs the ability to draw hands, but with comics, I mean, I'm drawing like 10 different hands on every page. I feel like it's just one of those things that you need to show emotion properly, and well, not properly, you can just use the face obviously, but it really enhances the emotion if you can include hands into it. You know, some people speak with their hands, and it really helps when you don't have, tone of voice in a drawing. Just adding hands into the mix kind of just makes everything a little bit more impactful, I guess. And the more I draw from practice, the less reference images I need to use when I'm actually drawing the comic. Which would just be additional wasted quote-unquote time. And of course with hands it's a nice thing where you can use your own hand for reference, but even then it's like kind of difficult sometimes getting your left hand when you're drawing with your right hand in like a cool position and looking at it while you're also trying to look at what you're drawing. I do that all the time, and it's kind of tricky, but it does work. But anyway, what I'm doing with this video is that it's mostly in real time, because I feel like, as I mentioned in my post-practice drawing video a few weeks back, it's kinda messes with your mind seeing people sketch really fast all the time in time-lapse videos. So with this one, it's in real time when I'm like doing the initial part of the sketch, like right now when I'm starting the drawing, and I have to think a lot, and you can see kind of how relatively slow I'm going, and I have to think between different lines and plan things out while I'm studying the reference. And then when I'm kind of done with this stage and I start just noodling away at little details and wrinkles and shadow stuff and trying to fix little details in the hands, that's when I kind of speed it up a little bit, so you don't need to watch me do the less important part, because really what's important is just getting the shape of the hand down and how the fingers work and stuff. And yeah, by the way, if you're looking at this and you're like hoping to learn how to sketch hands and you feel like, oh man, I can't sketch like this from reference. By the way, I'm just using like Pinterest reference sheets where you have like 20 different hands on one image and just drawing all of them. I don't care what pose it is, I don't care if I've drawn similar things before, I just draw all of them. But yeah, if you're like worried that you can't draw like this, even taking your time and focusing a lot, keep in mind that I've been drawing hands in my comic for over 1,000 pages. I think it's been like 2,000 pages if you count, my current comic and my previous one. And yeah, it's a lot of practice. So, I kinda know the basic parts of a hand. I know where the bones go, I know how the thumb is structured kinda. So, I'm able to kinda look at the reference image and not be overwhelmed too much by all the detail in hands, which is still a lot sometimes. I mean, all the wrinkles and like nails, usually my characters in my comic which I guess if you're new, I haven't mentioned it. I make a comic called Stand Still, Stay Silent. It's a webcomic. The character on the left is from my webcomic. I was just doodling my characters. And yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic Nordic adventure comic, and it's free to read over at sscomic.com. I make 4 new pages every week. So yeah, that's my comic. What was I saying? Oh no, I don't remember. Oh well. Something that led me to talk about the comic. Well, I guess since I forgot, it must have not been too important. Anyway, just got the sketching done, and took in total about an hour. I did this spread full of the hands, and then the next one. For this one I did like more detailed stuff, and then the next page, which you will see at the second half of the video, I went like the more speedy route, like trying to do it really simplistic, not focus at all on the wrinkles or the details. Oh, now I remember, I was talking about the nails. In my comic, my characters are wearing gloves most of the time, and I've noticed that I actually really struggle with drawing comic stylized nails on hands, because I never draw them. I draw people with gloves on because they're outdoors adventuring. So every time they don't have their gloves on, I get really awkward with drawing hands, because I'm like, oh, the nails look so weird, but then the hands look also weird if I don't have the nails on them. The only ones where it's easy to draw nails is on like old people, like, you know, the really elderly characters, you know, grandparents and stuff like that, and crazy seagull mage man. What did I call him? Väinö something? Väinö? Yeah, that's him, that guy. Like, he didn't have gloves on, he had just his wrinkly old man hands. And on him it was easy to draw in the nails, because, you know, it doesn't matter if they look kinda gnarly and grungy, but like the main characters, it looks so weird drawing nails, and sometimes I used, even when they don't have gloves on, I don't draw the nails. So here I actually, made sure I actually drew in the nails on all of the hands. Which also actually kind of helps with seeing the shape of the hand. Oh goodness. I have a little bit of a cough. I very rarely get sick. Like, I never get sick. I don't, I guess, knock on wood. But like, I don't even get like a sore throat most of the time. But today I felt that I have like a little sliminess going on. And I've been like having to cough a little bit of slime all the time. And oh no, I'm worried that I'm gonna have the coronavirus. Like, people on my live stream were asking me like if I'm scared about it, because lots of people are scared about it, and obviously with the comic being set in a post-pandemic kind of world, and this beginning of it kind of was very similar to, you know, what's going on right now with the borders closing and things spreading anyway. People were like, oh no, are you worried? Your comic is coming true. And I was like, no, I'm not worried, it's not dangerous at all. It's like a 2% death rate, and the only people who die seem to be like really old people. But and I was pretending, or not even pretending, like feeling all whatever about it. Let other people be scared, I'm not worried. But then, like yesterday, I think there was on the news that the city, like the closest city to where I live, a little less than an hour away, that was like a suspected corona case. And I was like, oh no, I'm not going there, I'm not going to the store, I'm just gonna stay indoors. So my pretense that I'm all cool and not worried at all went immediately out the window the moment there was a suspected case anywhere nearby. So I guess I am worried a little bit. But yeah, now I feel like I have the coronavirus because I am suddenly having a slimy throat, and yeah, that's fun. I obviously don't have it. I haven't really been anywhere in ages. Like, I would be the last person in this country to get it, or among the few last people. I'm just home all the time drawing my comic. I just go to the grocery store once a week, and even then it's like in the evening when there's 2 other people in there. So yeah, we're on the second page now, and as you can see, I'm just basically trying to do it with as few strokes as, well, not as possible, because that would be like 1 stroke just, which is a good practice too. Like a lot of the time in the comic I draw very simple hands where you can basically see the emotion of them, or like the gesture, I guess, but you can barely even make out like there's really no shape to the fingers. There is little sausages, when you can see the characters from really far away. Maybe I'll if I remember, insert a couple of examples of my little noodle hands somewhere. So just practicing the shape of the hands without going too deep into details and shape of the knuckles and everything being correct and looking great is also really helpful. Because sometimes if you just focus on all the hands in detail, you kind of lose what you're actually trying to learn, or what at least I'm trying to learn, which is the gesture of it. And just focusing on the details, it's kind of like, the result looks kind of good, but I didn't actually understand what I drew really, and I guess I kind of remember something from it, but this kind of stuff is just as helpful, and sometimes even more helpful. So yeah, what else have I done this week? I actually did, because spring is kinda slowly maybe wanting to come, I planted some sunflowers indoors for like pre-germination, and also some tomatoes, just a few of them. I've never grown sunflowers in my yard before, and I tried to grow tomatoes a couple of years ago, but I didn't know that you have to start pre-germinating them indoors in winter over here, because the summer is way too short in Finland, obviously. There's not enough light, not enough warmth for things to actually mature before winter comes again. So yeah, it's still snow outside. It was like -11 and winter everything. But it's time to start pre-growing stuff, so that once it's actually warm outside in 2-3 months maybe, they will be ready to be planted, and hopefully they will be beautiful once everything is growing outside. And yeah, I have them like on the windowsill with a little bit of a extra grow light on top of them to help them out, because there's not quite enough sun yet, and the sun doesn't actually stay up for too long, but enough to make me happy. By the way, I was really looking forward to planting these low stalk sunflowers. I bought like 3 different ones, and the package with the low stalk ones literally had 2 seeds in it. Like 2! The other ones had like 20. I was like, what the heck is this? I was looking at the package like, is there a hole or something in it? And no, it was just 2 little sunflower seeds, and gee, I guess it's a packaging error. But yeah, I planted both of them. Hopefully they actually germinate. Like, not all seeds are actually able to grow. Like, what if these are done so I didn't get a single one of them? I'm just gonna have like really long stalked ones then. It's fine. I'm excited to see what they become. Oh yeah, if you're seeing like my little video of the little planter things, there is one that is looking kinda different. It's not looking like a seed, it has like moss on it, and that is what remains of a very, very sad plant that I bought online, I think like a little over a month ago or something. It's a peace lily with like a fun little pattern, and it died in the mail. It was too cold. When it arrived, it was like completely rotted and black and cold damaged, and I could have just thrown it away, but I looked through it and it seemed to have like little parts of the roots that were still alive, and there was one green leaf which also made me think that maybe it can be saved. And I tried like cutting off all of the rotted parts, just snip snip everything, all the leaves, all the gross roots, and just see if it could get back to life if I water propagate it. And no, it kind of just continued rotting, like the leaf that remained fell off, turned yellow, and the big root chunk that still was there also like turned black and squishy, like in a few days. And yeah, I had to cut all of that away, and the only thing I was like able to get out of it that looked like maybe it will still survive was like this tiny little, like the end of a finger sized little node that had no roots, no leaf, nothing. It was just like a part of the root system, like a little bulb, and I thought maybe I can save it, and I put it in a Ziploc bag with like moss in it, and I keep it shut during the day so that it has like high humidity and warmth in it, and I have it under a grow light. And after I think a little over a week, I like opened it up and looked at it, and it has tiny little white nice looking roots coming out of it, and it has not continued rotting, and that means it's still alive. And I'm just trying to see if it will like survive, and I put it into the little batch with the other things I'm planting, because it's in a sunny spot, and hopefully it's a good growing part for it. I don't actually care if it dies or not, like it costs like 10 euros or something. It's not a rare plant, it's nothing too interesting. I'm really just enjoying looking at the plants like seed and grow and how they develop, and I'm just wanting to see if I can get it to live and make a leaf, because it's really interesting. Like I'm really enjoying looking every morning at different things that are growing and just making me happy. So yeah, that's what I'm doing with that one random planted thing there with my sunflowers. Other than that, I don't think I have any news on stuff. Just been working away at the book still. I'm almost done with the bonus comic, like the 4 extra pages. It's been so much work these last 2-3 weeks when I've been working on it, because every free moment that I have, I'm basically working on the bonus content, and slowly it's getting shipped away, and I will be very relieved when that is done. And you guys will enjoy it. The bonus comic, it's turning out really cute and I like it. I would just like it to be over with. There's a reason why I stopped doing 5 pages a week of the comic, like regularly, because 4 pages is kind of the limit where I'm happy with the time I have to do other things. With 5 pages I'm just kind of getting overwhelmed and tired about it. There's too much drawing comics. I want to draw other things. But yeah, that's it for this video, it seems. I hope you enjoyed this. This wasn't like learn to draw hands. Obviously I wasn't really talking about my technique of drawing hands or anything. I'm not sure I would be able to really explain it. It just, I mean, I'm self-taught as an artist. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to sketch or draw hands. I'm just drawing from what I've learned over the years by just drawing, so I'm not the best at explaining step by step everything and stuff like that. But hopefully you guys had fun listening, and maybe you were drawing something too, and maybe you're inspired to practice drawing some hands also. And if not, I just hope you had fun. And I will see you guys next week. And my comic, free to read, check it out. And bye bye.